We've all heard stories about serial killers from Jack the Ripper to Ted Bundy. These people inspire fear and curiosity in us, because we can't comprehend how someone commits such a heinous act, not only once but multiple times and without remorse. Most of us are probably thankful that these serial killers were active before our time, but what if they weren't? What if they were more recent, and what if they were practically in your own backyard? My name is Madison Nard, and today we'll be discussing the case of the Jeff Davis 8. This case takes place in the town of Jennings, located in Jefferson Davis Parish, Louisiana. Here, the murder of 8 women occurred between 2005 and 2009, nicknamed the Jennings 8 or the Jeff Davis 8. The first unfortunate victim was Loretta Lewis, found in a canal by fishermen on May 20th, 2005. Just a month later, Ernestine Patterson was found on June 18th. In 2007, 2 more victims were found, Kristen Gary Lopez on March 18th and Whitney Dubois on May 12th. In 2008, there were 3 more victims, Laconia Brown on May 29th, Crystal Shea Benoit on September 11th, and Brittany Gary on November 15th. At the beginning, it seemed to be random attacks and not coordinated killings. However, after Brittany's death, the sheriff's office made the decision to pull together a task force that was composed of local, state, and federal enforcement because they believed that they might have had a serial killer in Jennings. The final victim in this case was Nicole Guillory, who was found on the side of I-10 on August 19th, 2009. Most of the women were found in such a far along state of decomposition that it didn't allow for an accurate or positive cause of death to be determined. Ernestine Patterson and Laconia Brown had their throats slit, however the cause of death of all the other women were likely asphyxiation, but again, it's unsure. After the death of Laconia, deeper investigation into her life led investigators to the understanding that these women had been linked in some ways in their lives. The investigators found that many knew each other personally, such as Kristen and Brittany being cousins, and Brittany and Crystal being housemates at one point. All of the women also had ties to drugs, prostitution rings, and mental health issues. Lastly, all of the women had been police informants at some point in their lives, more specifically serving as informants on the other previous women's deaths in this case. In the years following, family of the victims began speculating that police were involved in the deaths of the women. Several witness accounts have come up that implicate the involvement of several department members, such as Warren Gary, who is the chief investigator. He was directly accused of having been in possession of the pickup truck that Kristen Lopez was last seen in. However, the truck was washed and resold by the time it was investigated. Mike Dubois, the brother of the 4th victim, Whitney Dubois, claimed that he knew who the killer was, but was unable to say who due to legal reasons. Some people believe that it could be gang-related due to the women being police informants and having been killed to keep them quiet. There were several suspects in this case, however, no solid arrest was ever made. One of the first suspects was Frankie Richards, who was a probable drug dealer and local strip club owner. He claimed to have personally known many of the victims before they died, and he was one of the last people to see Kristen alive. There was a woman who had claimed to have information on a police cover-up of Kristen's murder at the request of Frankie, which is why people think he was never arrested for it. 2 other suspects were Byron Jones and Lawrence Nixon, who were arrested and charged for the murder of Ernestine, but released because of insufficient evidence due to the sheriff's department failing to test the crime scene for evidence until 15 months after Ernestine's death. To conclude, this case has been the inspiration for numerous documentaries, podcasts, and books. No one was ever charged for the crimes in this case, and it remains open and unsolved, despite it having occurred over a decade ago, and we may never know the truth behind what happened to the Jeff Davis 8.